Hi, my name is Racheli and I am a 23-year-old cancer survivor, and I video blogged my entire journey on YouTube. This year flew by super fast. Last year was my first birthday since being diagnosed with cancer and since finishing treatment for cancer. It was a very, very exciting and special birthday to me. Ever since being diagnosed with cancer, I think that I used to take my birthday for granted and I didn't look at it as what it was, and it was the day that I came into the world, and I now realize how grateful I am to be able to even be here to celebrate another birthday. This year I want to make a special video about the 23 life lessons that I learned in the past 23 years. A lot of people make these videos and I love listening to what other people learned. I think it's going to become a ritual for me now to journal the life lessons that I learned and each birthday to add more. I thought that I would share it with you and maybe give you some inspiration to do this on your birthday, and or just share with you life lessons that I learned through my life circumstances that hopefully you will never have to experience. I just want to document my hair growth on my 23rd birthday, and I want to show you what my hair actually looked like for my 22nd birthday. Do you see how short my hair was? I learned that hair grows! Okay. So here we go. 23 lessons that I learned in 23 years. The first life lesson that I learned is to accept and welcome change. I think that change can sometimes be fun, and that's how I like to look at it, as opposed to things not going the way that I planned. The second life lesson is to tell the people that you love them. It really fulfills your need to communicate your feelings, and it also fulfills them to know that you love and care about them. This more comes into play especially because you never know what could happen tomorrow, so I think that it's important to share and spread the love. Number 3 is one that I learned more this past year, and it's that money comes and money definitely goes, and then it comes again and then it goes. And I know it's like the hardest thing to not stress about, but really don't stress about money and embrace the coming and going of it. And if you want to buy that dress, buy that dress. Number 4, unplugging rocks. A lot of us are on our phones all the time. Unplug and be present in your life, in that moment physically, and not through social media. Some of the most amazing moments in my life have been off of my phone and unplugged, and really be mindful and take in those moments. Snapchat them in your memory because you don't want to miss a thing. I want to fall asleep and I don't want to miss a thing. Number 5, live for your own approval. 6, this one is to know what your body is telling you and to listen to your body, whether it be physical symptoms that you're experiencing that you may want to get checked out by a doctor, or if you're too tired to go out, listen to your body and don't go out. If you think that you need to exert X amount of energy, go and do it. Listen to your body and what your body is telling you. Number 7 is be silly. Make jokes, laugh, don't take life way too seriously. Obviously there are moments in life you need to take seriously, but for the most part, enjoy each moment and be silly. Yeah. Number 8 is not to settle. This comes for everything in life, for relationships, for friendships, doctors, which I just wrote an article about on Lymphoma News today, and it's how not to settle for shit doctors. Don't settle because you think that that's the best that you're gonna get. Number 9 is go by your own timeline. You have to do things according to your internal timeline. Number 10 is a quote from somebody that I am passionate about. His name is Leonard Peltier, and if you don't know about him, you should educate yourself a little bit about him. He is a Native American. He's been incarcerated and he's pretty much a political prisoner of our country. And I read a book of his called Prison Writings, and one of his quotes in there has stuck with me since I read it, and his quote is, "Just because you don't know the meaning of life doesn't mean there isn't one." You don't need to know the meaning of life, and you don't need to know the reason for everything that happens to you, but just know that it could be a part of something bigger than ourselves, and it could not be. But just because you don't know it doesn't mean that there is or isn't one. Number 11 is one that I have been pondering a lot lately, and I pondered it when I was diagnosed. And it's to understand that the word God and the meaning of God can mean different things to so many different people. Our definitions don't have to all align with each other, but it can still be a God, and your God can be yoga. It doesn't need to be an all-knowing master of the universe. We can all do God in our own way. Number 12 is to not be scared to hear the word no. I have always been the kind of person that thought if I don't ask, then I'll never know what the answer is, or I'll never get permission to do it. Worst case, you're told no, and that's okay. But there's that chance that you're told yes. You should always ask and find out, and not assume that the answer is going to be no, because then you'll never know if it was yes. Number 13, everyone has a story, and we all experience adversity, and it shouldn't always be a competition of whose story is better or whose story is worse. It's kind of beautiful that we're all these human beings having these experiences. We all are experiencing this world differently, and we all have our own story. Fascinating. Just imagine every human being is like a different book on a bookshelf. So cool. Number 14 is one that I experienced early on in life. When I was in 7th grade, one of my best friends passed away. And number 13 is survivor's guilt is real. I didn't quite know the term for it then, but I survived my friend. I continued, I left middle school, I graduated high school. The term really stuck out to me through my cancer journey, that there are people that, have passed away from cancer, from my type of cancer. My grandfather passed away from cancer, and that survivor's guilt of why did I survive? Sometimes I'll feel sorry for myself, and then I'll think, well, I didn't die, and I'm still valid in feeling sorry for myself sometimes, and I'm still valid for questioning, why this happened to me, even though I didn't pass away from it or pass on from it and transition. But it's real to experience the feelings of guilt that I survived. Number 15 is to be my unapologetic self. I interpret that as being who I am and not subjecting myself to try to please other people. While I am a people pleaser, I can still be my unapologetic self and still please people by being myself. And I think that that's the highest form of pleasing somebody, is to giving them your whole and true self. Number 16 kind of goes along with that, and this is a lesson that my Zeta, for those of you that don't know, my Zeta is my grandfather. This is a lesson that my Zeta has taught me since I was really, really young, and it's to always be an upstander and not a bystander. And I'm sure many of you have heard stories about seeing other people get bullied, and instead of, just standing back and not saying anything, you should be an upstander and say something. Speak for those that cannot speak for themselves. There's that amazing poem that I love, and it was actually my Zeta's favorite poem. I don't know the whole thing word by word, but it's, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak up because I was not a socialist. And then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak for me. There's more verses to it, but that's kind of the gist of it. I think that it's a very powerful message. I'm grateful that I now have this channel to share these really important messages with you. Number 17 is to put yourself in other people's shoes. So this goes along with remembering that everybody has a story, and also remembering to be an upstander. Put yourself in other people's shoes to understand why they do the things that they do, what their experience in life is like. You may not always have to agree, but it's really good to at least try to understand when you're driving and, somebody may be having a really bad day, so not to be so rude, or when you're in line at the supermarket. Put yourself in other people's shoes and see why they made the decision that they did. Number 18 is don't stress about the things that you cannot control. And this was a huge one for me, and it's something that I coined and figured out through my cancer journey. I realized that the key to mindfulness and the key to, I don't want to say happiness, I don't know if our goal is happiness, but the key to being mindful and the key to overcoming adversity with positivity is to not stress about what we can't control, because it limits us on focusing on the things that we can change and control and work on and fix and better. Number 19 is to celebrate all the victories, even the small ones. So with a cancer diagnosis, you get a lot of dates. You get your first chemo, you get your last chemo, your remission day, you get your port removal day. In celebrating those days, you are celebrating life. Again, showing gratitude and celebrating that I'm alive. B, it's bringing, you know, some of the closest people in your life together. C, when I celebrate things with my cancer diagnosis, is also raising awareness. When it comes to a cancer diagnosis or an adversity or any other kind of disease or mental illness, it also allows you to shed some positivity on that really dark time in your life. Number 20 is that breath is so valuable. And I say this not in the sense that breath, like being alive, is valuable. My lungs were literally shot for the past 2 years and still are. So whenever I don't have a hard time breathing, I'm happy about it. And it reminds me that our breath that we normally do without even thinking about it is actually quite valuable. The 21st lesson that I learned, and I learned this right after my 21st birthday, is that it can happen to you and that we're not invincible. If I'm gonna share any lesson with you, it's this one, and it's not meant to scare you. It's just meant to open your eyes to that, and whether it be to embrace life fully and to be grateful for all the things that you have and to take care of yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's just to remember that we're not invincible. The things that you never thought could happen to you can. And they can also happen to the people that you love. So show them love. The 22nd lesson that I learned is that our minds are so powerful. This is something that I believed before I got cancer, and this is something that was confirmed for me when I got cancer. And it's not to say that I think that my mind healed me and that I think that my mind cured me or cures people. It's the experience. It's the experience of having cancer and what you make of it. It's the experience of getting into a car accident and what you make of it. The experience of failing a test and what you make of it. It's an experience of a breakup and what you make of it. And it's an experience of life and what you make of it. Our minds drastically change the way we experience things. And the 23rd lesson that I learned is that everything is gonna be okay. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being on this crazy journey, ride, life experience with me. And if you want to watch more videos, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. And I hope that you have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful April 7th. If you're watching this on April 7th, on Friday, April 7th, please comment down below what your favorite lesson is and how you apply it to your life. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and share, and let's make YouTube a thing for me. I'm putting it out there in the universe on my birthday. Let's do it. This is fun. I'm being my unapologetic self right now. If you're gonna remember anything in my 23 lessons, remember all of them, but ultimately remember that everything is gonna be okay.